Hello, my name's Stephen. I sell stuff on eBay as a hobby, and in this video I want to show you my payout for the 9th of December 2024. Quite a few interesting sales this week, so let's have a look at them. It's Monday the 2nd of December, and the week has started with two sales this afternoon, and the first to go was this pair of books by Patrick O'Brien. I've had these for some time, originally listed them with a pair of other books by Alexander Kent, so same sort of theme really, historical, maritime fiction, military fiction. And they didn't sell, so I've listed them separately now. So I've listed the Alexander Kent books separately. They haven't sold. These two have. They've gone for £5.50 all in, which isn't too bad really. I'll be posting those off by every. That's going to cost me £2.94, I think. So about £1 each for these. And the titles are Post Captain. And this one, that's the 13 Gun Salute. So that's two books by Patrick O'Brien. The other item to go is this hardback book by Terry Pratchett. It's called Dodger. I have actually sold this before. I had a bundle of these books which I had been given by a relative. Those sold a while ago. I've had this one hanging around for a while now. Listed it for £5.39 recently, and that has sold for £5.39. So there we are. That's two lots of books to start the week off. It's Tuesday, the 3rd of December, and I managed to make another sale yesterday. This came in the evening, had an offer on this book, which I did accept. It's Clive Barker's Weave World. Clive Barker, British writer of horror, fantasy kind of stuff. Most famous, I think, for Hellraiser. Hellraiser in this particular edition will command quite a lot of money, and this one doesn't do too badly either. I listed this for £10.90. I got an offer of £9, which I have accepted, so I'm quite happy with that. So Clive Barker, Weave World. Okay, this is quite the coincidence after selling those Patrick O'Brien books yesterday. And you may remember earlier I mentioned that I had them paired up with some Alexander Kent books, which I have now also sold. So, two books by Alexander Kent, also known as Douglas Reman. Written a lot of seafaring adventures, so historical maritime fiction again. Two books by him. This one is The Darkening Sea. The other one is Band of Brothers. They've gone for the full asking price of £5.25. So for two fairly slim volumes there, £5.25, and I'll be posting them out tomorrow now, I think. It's Wednesday, the 4th of December, and I've just sold this. It's Flashman, the first in a series. I think the series is called Flashman's Papers by George MacDonald Fraser. I think this came out in 1969, but as you can see, it's a very much newer paperback than that. It's not brand new, it is second hand. I've had it for quite a long time. I was vaguely thinking at one stage of trying to put a bundle of these together, but I've not come across any more. I think I did sell a bundle of Flashman books a couple of years back, but I've not had any more of them since, and I'm not actively looking for stuff anymore either. I listed this yesterday for £5. It has gone for the full asking price. I didn't enable offers on this one. I'm quite pleased with that, given that my sale books now I have brought down a lot in price. So I'm probably getting more than that than I am on my bundles at the moment, at least as an individual book. So I was going to be working out at about £2 and some odd pence. So I'm quite happy with that. So there you go. Flashman, George MacDonald Fraser, £5 all in. It's Thursday, the 5th of December, and yesterday evening somebody bought this bundle of books by James Blish. Before I show them to you, this is my first sale to the Channel Islands. Somebody in Guernsey bought them. Now, it is still postable by Royal Mail, which is what I'm going to be doing. but rather oddly, it's not counted as part of the United Kingdom. So you have to fill in a customs declaration for it, which I've never done before. Hope I've got it right. I have obviously sold this as one item, but I've declared it as 12 books. So I had to put in a description for each of those. Actually, it can be done both. So it was 12, and then I had to divide the sales price by 12 to get an individual amount, because when I put it first in, it was coming up with a value of 600 quid or something like that. So yeah, I worked out what these were individually. I declared them as books. There's nothing to pay on it. There's no fees to pay on top of it. And actually, the surprising thing for me was that it was cheaper to send it to the Channel Islands than to send it within mainland Britain. £3.39 for track 48 within the UK, and this actually cost me £2.83, I think it was. So yeah, that's a bit odd. So I thought I'd tell you about that. But what are the books? Well, what it is are 12 volumes of the Star Trek, what sort of novelizations in a way. So it's short stories based on original series episodes. I think in the US this is called Star Trek Logs or something like that. There are 12 of them altogether. I mean, I can show you the covers, but they're basically the same. Well, mostly the same. So we've got one, we've got two, we've got three, four. You get the idea. Five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And before I show you the last one, which does have a slightly different cover, I'll just point out the little header here. They've got 4 of the main cast members. So obviously they've got Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and Scotty there. Now, the last one is actually, this one has got a different cover. Now, I'm not sure whether this was ever published with the same cover. The first one of these I bought in the 1970s as a teenager. I bought it with my pocket money. I think I got the first 3, and then as an adult I started collecting the other ones. So I'm not sure if this came out in that particular edition. And in fact, this is written by James Blish and J.A. Lawrence. J.A. Lawrence took over writing those episode adaptations after the death of her husband, James Blish. So yeah, that's about what I wanted to say about those really, except let's just have a look at the chapter list for the first one. There we are. So there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stories in there. They're based on the episodes, as I say. The episodes are Charlie's Law. Well, that was actually based on Charlie X. We've got Dagger of the Mind, The Unreal McCoy. That was The Man Trap. And then we've got Balance of Terror, The Naked Time, Miri, and The Conscience of the King. Miri was an episode that BBC showed once in the 1970s and then didn't show it for many years after that because it was considered to have sensitive content. It was about a group of children on a post-apocalyptic world. So yeah, that was sort of banned for a while. Anyway, I haven't told you how much I sold them for. I've had them listed for quite some time. The latest price I've had them up for is £50. It has sold for that altogether. So with £2.83 off that, it's not bad for 12 old paperbacks. And they're ready to go, and I hope I don't get in trouble with customs. Thursday afternoon now, and I've dropped that parcel with the Star Trek books off at the depot this morning. They made me fill in another form, which I wasn't expecting. He said that it's usually printed out by the machine, but it wasn't, so I had to fill it in again. Not sure I'd done it properly. I did ask him to check it over. He said it looked fine, but in retrospect, I don't think it is. So we'll see what happens. Let's hope it just gets where it's going fairly quickly. Anyway, in the meantime, I've sold another bundle of books. These are 5 books by Josephine Cox. Um, they've gone for £8 all in, not an awful lot of money, but to be honest, these books are usually available fairly cheap at places like the Works. Um, so bargain books they are really. Anyway, let's have a look at the titles. We've got Miss You Forever, and then we've got The Gilded Cage. We've got this one, which is Somewhere Someday. And we've got The Woman Who Fell. And finally, the 5th book here, Ginny. So that's 5 books by Josephine Cox for £8. Don't think I'm going to get out again today, so these will probably be posted off tomorrow. It's Friday, the 6th of December, and I've just sold this bundle of books by Daphne du Maurier. They're in quite good condition. They are very nice, got lovely covers, these. Let's go through the titles. So we'll start with this one. This is a short story collection. It's called The Birds and Other Stories. The Birds, of course, made into a terrific film, Alfred Hitchcock. If you've never seen it, you really need to. But there we are. That's short stories. Then we've got Rule Britannia. And next we have The House on the Strand. The Scapegoat. Scapegoat's been filmed. I saw a version of it on Netflix not so long ago. I'm not sure if it was a Netflix original, but that was certainly worth watching. Very interesting drama, that one. Then we've got The King's General. And what do we have? My Cousin Rachel. And finally, her best known novel, Rebecca. And that, as you see, has got a sticker on it, The Big Read Top 21. So that's 7 books by Daphne du Maurier. They have gone for £34 all in, which, to be honest, I think is a bargain. There we are, 7 books to post off. It's Sunday, the 8th of December. It's turning out to be quite a busy week for me this week. Yesterday, I sold this pair of vintage calendars. They're both Babylon 5 calendars. I don't know how many of you will remember Babylon 5, but it was a great favourite with me in the 1990s. And I bought these calendars as well as some of the novelizations, which I've yet to sell. But these 2 calendars, we've got this one for 1997. As you can see, it's all sealed. I used to buy these calendars from bargain bookshops in the new year, so I can't remember paying a full price for any of these. But there on the back, you can see the illustrations. But as I say, that's never opened, and neither of this one. This is a 1999 calendar, and again, there's the monthly pictures on the back. So that's 2 calendars, Babylon 5, that went for £15.99 all in. And then this morning I got an order for this bundle of thrillers by different authors. This one, that has gone for £6 only. I have had them for a long time. With my mixed bundles, I do tend to take them down, relist them. But I've dropped my prices now in the hopes of clearing some of this older stuff off my shelves. Let's have a look at the titles here. We've got Kerry Wilkinson's Thicker Than Water. This is The House on the Water's Edge by C.E. Rose. And then we've got Paula Finch, Sacrifice. And finally, Michelle Campbell, A Stranger on the Beach. I must have had that for sale for the last 3 years in various different bundles. Usually in the past, I'd be asking somewhere between 9 and 14 pounds for a mixed bundle. Mostly they go for around about the £10 mark anyway. These are going for £6 only. It will cover my postage plus a little bit of profit, so I'm okay with that. So that's 2 items to get now. It is early in the morning on Sunday, so hopefully I'll get some more sales. So this is turning out to be quite a long video. eBay sent me £129 on the 9th of December. Now, actually, my funds were £129 and 8p, but I forgot to add the 8p to my request. But here we have 10 items sold, 5 every labels, so that came off the total that I'd earned that week. And you may notice that there was an insertion fee charged for this item, 2 Green books, 35p. I was a bit puzzled about that. I found out that in fact it was for a second insertion fee because I'd mistakenly listed it under 2 categories, done it totally by accident. I queried it with eBay and they did refund me that massive amount of 35p. But after fees, I am left with £109.22. I should say after postage, I'm left with £109.22, with the other 5 items all going by Royal Mail, Track 48. And as I found out, the item going to Guernsey only cost me £2.83. Well, there we are, 10 items sold, £109.22 after fees and postage costs. Quite a successful week for me as a hobby seller. You do expect sales to go up before Christmas, and that's probably at least twice what I usually sell these days. So I'm quite happy with that. Very happy with the sale of the Star Trek books. Sad to see them go, but they are going to somebody who had collected them himself and had lost his copies in a house move. So I'm quite pleased with that. Bit taken aback by sending it to Guernsey because I'd never done that before. Didn't realise that you had to fill in a customs form, so that was a hurdle that I had to cross. And I was very surprised that it cost less money, £2.83 as opposed to £3.39 to post that. But I think that'll be because they've got a different tax regime in the Channel Islands. I'm pretty sure that is what that's about. As far as the fee on the Green books is concerned, what had happened there is that I had inserted it into 2 different categories. Now, I hadn't meant to do that. What had actually happened is that when the listing tool put it under one category, which was antiquities or something like that, but basically vintage books, I always list my books under books as a general category. I don't think people search by category, to be honest. I think they search generally, and I'm quite happy for that to be in books. I didn't mean to get it into an extra category. That's why I was charged the extra 35p, but they gave it back to me when I explained what had happened. Didn't have to go jump through any hoops or anything. They just gave that straight back to me. Anyway, rambling on a bit. If you found that interesting, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below, and I will see you next week because there have been a few nice sales in the time since I requested that payment. So I'll see you next week. Bye for now.